Welcome, race fans. We are live and racing here at Daytona Motor Speedway. This is East to West Racing's GT3 Challenge. As you can see, everybody out of the pit lane and everybody trying to take advantage of this qualifying session with all the cars together. As you can see, nobody wants to be by themselves, as this place is a good place to draft and everybody out together and see how that works. To see if anybody can get the advantage as we just begin this 15-minute session of qualifying. They're going to have about 8 or so laps to get around here and try to get the best lap time possible. We've got 21 drivers on the racetrack, biggest crowd we've had in quite a while, and this one is going to be interesting because Daytona is no place for a pile of cars going into turn one together. We'll see how that's going to work. The standing starts have proven to be interesting, as the starting line is a challenge, being that they're on a bank. So if the guys aren't paying attention as they get on the jump, they are not going to be happy with what they see on the start. Adam Novotny in the 326, he's the first one out in line. At the moment, he's coming across the start-finish line to start his first-time lap. It might take another lap to get the tires up to optimal temperatures, but we're going to find out, as these guys are going to be flying and we're going to see where they land. This is East to West Racing. This is the GT3 Challenge. We are sponsored here on Bigg Wizurd TV by Stair Fittings Incorporated, Grandpa'sKitchen.com, JNR Craftworks. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and hopefully we'll get this thing rocking and rolling for you. I made a slight adjustment on the audio during the break. We'll see if that helps a little bit. You can hear a little bit better. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I cannot switch it once it gets started, so apologize ahead of time for that one. If the cars are drowning me out, that is unfortunately the way it's going to have to fly today. But I appreciate you joining in and watching so far. We're just getting started with a qualifying session here. This is race 17 or 16 of 17. There's only one more after this one. Points right now as they run are close. The GT3 Challenge points have Brandon Dooley out in the front by 680 points, but Brandon has checked all the boxes. He has raced all the races that he can get counted. There are 13 counting. This is race 15. He can only improve a top 5 from this point if he, if he can get a top 5 to improve on one of the previous races where he got a top 10.
Hold on,
that's the best he can do. That's Brandon Dooley. He's in the number 14 BMW. You'll see that car. It's black and green, a little bit of purple on it. This that we're watching right now, this is Adam Novotny. Adam back in 9th position in points. He's missed quite a few races. Everything he does is going to count this week and next week. Kyle Robinson out there on the racetrack, he is going to be up in 2nd position in points. Kyle followed by Josh Baling, Emmett Lindquist, Jason Rabe, Richard Wishon, Richard Hibbs, Philip Scott, Adam Novotny, Kevin Cantonio. Those are the top 10. Those are the people that are out there battling for the spots and trying to see what they can do. Right now we are watching. This is Adam Novotny. Josh Baling in the number 1 currently has the quickest time. Let's take a peek in Josh's car. Well, let's get somebody that if I could see. Here we go. Let's jump on board with Joe Fierro. Joe's missed a few races, but let's jump on board. Where is my cameras, Joe? Where's my cameras? Down into turn 1. Hard out of the brakes is Joe coming through the turn 1 area. Now through turns 2 and 3, the little chicane here. And off to the International Horseshoe. This is the International Horseshoe, turn number 4. Then we're going to hit the kink, which is basically a flat out section of the racetrack. Right through here, it is a hard left-hander, but it is flat out. You want to be on the gas all the way through here and then onto the brakes as you come down into the second half of the horseshoe. This is the infield horseshoe, turn number 6. And then probably the most important corner on the racetrack. This is turn number 7. Hard on the brakes, down into this brake zone. Try to carry as much speed as you can and on the gas as soon as you possibly can, because this is carrying the speed all the way down through super speedways turns 2 and 3. And you're going to try to get down to the bus stop carrying the most momentum possible You go through the high banks of Daytona and down to this hard brake zone into the bus stop. You'll see a little stop sign on the right, little yellow sign, there it is right there, hard on the brakes. Down into the bus stop, try to clip the corners as best you can without going into the dirt, into the off track, and then back on the gas as you come around to the start finish line. This is Super Speedway 3 and 4. Cars getting up into the 180, 190 mile an hour range as they're coming across the start finish line. This is Super Speedway 4, and then into the tri-oval down to the flat section here, which actually still has about 9 degrees of banking, but then into this 20-degree banking section, it's the start finish line, and that is a lap at Daytona. Thank you, Joe, for the trip around the track. And with that, Joe slots into P10 at his lap time. Quickest lap so far, Josh Bailing with a 1:43.8. That is cooking. Richard Wishon out there in the second spot right now with a 1:44.0. Also Adam Novotny with a 1:44.0. Rich Hibbs with a 1:44.2. Again, Jason Ray with a 1:44.2. Rick Wishon with a 1:44.2. Brandon with a 1:44.3. That puts the top 7 drivers within half a second. So quick. Josh Bailing, we'll watch him for a second as he crosses the start finish line. 1:43.8 is his quickest time so far, as he is on the tail of Kyle Robinson. Kyle not yet setting a time, coming through the International Horseshoe. This is his first time lap, if he can get through cleanly. The trick is to get all the way around the track with no incidents. If you make any off tracks, any incidents at all, the time does not count. Rick Wishon moves up. Alex Good moves up. Can he get a push from behind? That push from behind from Josh Bailing can help Kyle. It can also help Josh. Josh getting that toe, and Kyle getting a little bit of an extra push there from behind as these guys going around the racetrack on their time lapse. As this little 15-minute session of qualifying is already half through, we've got just 7 minutes to go, and Kyle zips through the bus stop. Hopefully no off tracks there. He gets so close to the edge. I don't know if I can tell from my view if he's still on the racetrack or has any issues, but he's trying everything he can to get the car around the racetrack as quickly as possible without going off the racetrack. Here he comes up to the start finish line. We'll see where he slots in. Josh Bailing right behind. I think Josh is going to have a very good benefit out of this. But here goes Kyle. Kyle up to just P9, and Josh Bailing no improvement, still that 1:43.860. Let's see, Richard Wishon in the 974. He's got a 1:44 flat, as well as Brandon Dooley now in the 14 car. He just runs a 1:44.0, and he is now in the pit lane. Looks like Brandon is either getting tires or going to try to go again. Yep, that's what he's all up to. Let's see, Adam Novotny in the 326. He's got a 1:44.0 as he comes around turn 1. He's going to try to do this again, get a little bit better time. He has come in, made his stop, reset the fuel, got a new set of tires. He's going around again. I think this might be the lap for Kyle Robinson. Let's see how he's doing. Does he still have Jason Ray or Josh Bailing in tow? It looks like he may indeed have Josh right there. You can see the green Porsche right behind as they go through the bus stop together. Josh trying to take advantage of that draft so he can get a little bit more time out of it. Following another fast car around the racetrack. That's how you get the best time around here, is get your car right in the correct position. And since Josh and Kyle are not teammates, I can guarantee you they are not going to return the favor by swapping spots and going around again next time. Coming across the start-finish line, Kyle trying to improve his time from the down to a 1:43.7 and jumps up to third position as Josh goes right behind him with a 1:43.5 in the draft for the fastest lap on the racetrack. That 1:43.5 is quite the number in these GT3 cars. I have a feeling that Kyle is not going to let him do that for another lap. Yep, Josh is off the track. Josh probably pulled off by himself. But that was quite the lap. Kyle and Josh. Kevin Cantonio by himself, running in the number 5 car, just throws down an amazing lap as he's coming around again to see if he can get any better. 1:43.739 by himself, no one around him. And he is going to try to do it a little bit better as he comes across the start-finish line now. See if he can improve. They are getting tight on time. They're about to run out of time here. Kevin goes across the line. Does he improve? He does not improve. 7:93 that time instead of a 7:39. Pretty much the same exact time, but not quite enough. Del Fierro here in the 16th position in the number 48 Audi, the yellow Audi. There's a lot of yellow cars out here tonight. Joe's missed a few races. 1:45.6 is his best time so far. As Mooney switches from the Ferrari last race over to the Ford GT this time. And he is running a 1:46.3. Another car that was in the last race, Rick Wishon, he was in the Audi before, and hey, look at this, he's still in the Audi. I've seen him switch over to the Porsche between the 2 races, but not this time. He's in the same car. We've got just a couple minutes left in the qualifying session, and I'm going to have to step away. I will be right back. Here's Kevin trying to do one more lap, see if he can get that best time. He's right now in P2 with the 1:43.739. He's got Kyle Robinson right behind him on the standings on the timing chart right now with a 1:43.755. Jason Ray with a 1:43.869, followed by 5 cars at the 1:44.0 mark. That's Adam Novotny, Brandon Dewey, Richard Wishon, Rich Hibbs, and Philip Scott, all in the same tenth of a second, within just a few hundredths of each other. Rick Wishon with a 1:44.2, Emmett Lindquist, Fred Kroshnow. Richard Wishon just drops into the 1:43.898. He drops up into the top 5 with the 1:43 boys, leaving just 4 cars, the 1:44.0 as we watch. The front is making adjustments. Jason Rabe just drops off a 1:43.714, putting him up into second spot. Adam Novotny with the 1:43.9. He goes up into P6. 9 cars within a half a second. Unbelievable. Josh Bailey out front, 1:43.5. His teammate, Jason Rabe, in second spot with a 1:43.7. Those guys need all the points they can get. They're in the team battle. It's Kevin Cantonio, and time is up. Kevin doesn't get to finish his lap. But that is the order. Josh Bailey takes the pole. Jason Rabe on the outside of the front row. Those 2 Porsches, the yellow Porsches, will be side by side as they start the race. And these guys are going to be standing starts on an embankment, so it's going to be a little bit tough. If they take off too quick, they're going to slide down the hill and lose control, as this sprint race of 9 laps is about to begin. Jeff Wyatt, our feature winner from last time, he is starting in P14 out on row 7.
Welcome everybody to Daytona.
Rich Hibbs, he's
let's
up
just make sure we're being careful
4.
going into turn 1.
This is number 14 or number 15.
Also pay attention to the braking zone going into turn 1. I've seen a lot of people ram into the back of others and send them flying. But other than that, let's have a great race.
As they're getting lined up, they have a couple minutes to get lined up here. It's a 15-minute sprint race. They do give them a couple minutes to get it all set up and running. They are going to have to get off the grid here on a standing start, and they are just about to begin. Let's get this down to the racetrack. We're just waiting for a couple cars to get on the racetrack, and we'll get this thing going. They only have a few minutes, so they don't have a lot of time. They do have to make sure all their fuel and everything is set. They have to be able to go the full 15 minutes without a pit stop, because if they don't, somebody else will, and they'll end up back in the pack. Josh Bailing, our pole sitter, still holding on, waiting until the last minute to jump in the field here. They only get about 2 minutes. There's Josh, waiting for Kevin now. And that is it. Kevin misses the start along with Mooney. They might be stuck in the pit lane just because of the chaos of this early part of this race. There they go. You can see them kind of wiggle as they go. Let's see if we can catch the action down into turn 1 as all the cars together. Diving into the first corner. There's Kevin Cantonio around Jason Rabe. And everybody gets through mostly clean. Except for, not sure where the cars were at the back of the field. They didn't show on the track, but they're on the track now. Everybody's out there line astern, the entire field in a row. Josh Bailing out in the front. Kevin Cantonio in second, right there behind, followed by Jason Rabe. That's Richard Wishon in the white and purple Audi right behind. In 974, he is in P4. Adam Novotny in P5. Rich Hibbs in P6. Josh taking this one by storm, trying to get all the points he can. This is a great place to make up points. If you haven't won a sprint, it's 100 points to win a sprint. 100 points is a huge amount of points. If you can get one of these and lock it down, that is a monster change. So if you're dropping old points and getting new points, you drop a 0 for 100, that's really going to help your chances in the championship. So Josh out front, trying to push it, trying to get everything he can out of it. Kevin Cantonio not really up in the points race. He's not really up there with everybody else. He hasn't run enough races. He could get all the points though, as he does win. If he does win races, and he has been winning races this year, he just hasn't been at all of them. But look at this, Runny's guys just coming up into turn 1. Across the line, first lap is over, and they dive down into turn 1 hard on the brakes, and here we go. Here's where all the action happens, turn 1. Everybody on the brakes, everybody gets through. Ryan Fry looks like he may have had some issues. Joe Fierro and Ryan Fry may have gotten together. Let's see if I can see what happened there. I gotta find them. Oh, they're just side by side. The action's tight. Nothing bad, nothing dangerous, but they're back in the field. 14th and 15th battling right to the line. Jason in third position. I think that battle between Joe and Ryan. Oh, and Ryan falls back. Ryan has fallen out. Battling hard here with Joe Fierro. Oh, and he just loses it. Coming into the horseshoe. That's into the second horseshoe in the infield, and that is going to do it. He bangs into the wall, and he flips over to the pit lane with a toe, and that will probably be it for his night. Josh still out front. Kevin Cantonio in the second spot in chase. Jason Rabe. Richard Wishon dropping through the field. Richard, something has happened. Richard, he is hard damage into the wall. And it's just a matter of coming through the right corner at the right time. As he enters into the bus stop, he's going to just have not hit the exit right. He's going to come out and hit the wall here. Let's see if we can catch this on the replay. Here he goes into the bus stop. The first part looks good, second part, and then loses it hard into the wall. Manages to stay up away from traffic. Good for him on that move, but that puts him way back in the pack. And now we have some other action as Alex Good is getting passed by. Oh, and Mooney's dropping back. Mooney is dropping back. Mooney in the Ford. Got back to P18. So we can see what happens to him as he comes out of the bus stop, passes Rick Wishon there, or Richard Wishon. Not really sure what happened to him, but he is way back in the pack. And Mooney in the pit lane. So he is coming down into turn 1. Oh, real tight there. Oh, but he just loses it. A little too hot going into 1. Hits the wall, takes the back end off the car, and then problems ensue as he is not able to control it. Loses the tail there. And Craven, he's not able to drive that back. That is it. That's going to be terminal. And that's not good. That is not good. Mooney's not going to be happy with that one. Josh Baling still out front, followed by Kevin Cantonio. Jason Rabe, Adam Novotny, Rich Hibbs are your top 5. Kevin is not letting this one go easy. Philip Scott also battling with... We'll go back up here to the front. Phillips battling with Brandon as these two try to go side by side into turn 1. Josh has the line. Kevin has to wait. Jason's going to gain on him. Emmett Lindquist dropping back through the field in the number 40 car. See what happened to Emmett. He is coming in the pit lane. He may have had a penalty, maybe. He just dives in, so Emmett may be serving a penalty. Not sure. Can't hear race control. You guys might be able to, but I cannot. So if that is a penalty served, no, he's just in. He's just in the pits. That's not a penalty served. Penalties drive zone. Josh, Kevin, Jason, Adam, Kyle, Rich, Philip, Rick, Brandon, and Greg are your top 10. Brandon, our points leader, top 10 in the race. Currently in 9th position. The top 8 are going to flip position. So right now, Rick Wishon has the coveted P8 transfer spot. Now, granted, the most thing you want to have, the most that you want here is you want points. Josh, Kevin, Jason, Adam, and Kyle currently in the points. Big point swing for this sprint race. It doesn't seem like much, but it is a huge gainer if you can get the points. 100 points for the win, only 20 points for 5th. So if you've got, if you don't have a win in one of these, and you can replace one as one replace with drops, the best times, and the best scores from each session, that can make a huge difference, especially when Josh and Jason are trying to gain and get as many points as they can. Josh currently in the top 3 in the point series and trying to move up. He does have all of his races counted, so he has to make every point count out here on the racetrack. Kevin Cantonio wanting, with everything he has, to take that away from him. But Josh out front right now on lap 5 of 9. 5 to go as they go around through the infield section right now, coming through the second horseshoe. And is Kevin biding his time? Is he just holding back and not making that pass? Or do Josh and Jason have those cars flattened out so they've just got 0 downforce and run as fast as they can down the straightaway? Not sure how they've got them set up, but that's how we got it rolling right now. As these guys going around the racetrack trying to get the most points possible here in the sprint race. Top 3 drivers all going for that number 1 spot. Right together on the racetrack. You can barely separate them at all. There's only a few tenths of a second between 1st and 3rd. You can see them all in that camera shot. And they are close. Coming through the bus stop now onto Super Speedway 3 and 4. Josh Bailey out front, Kevin Cantonio and Jason Rabe. Let's go back to Adam Novotny. He is in P4. And he is being hunted by Kyle Robinson. Kyle going around the outside as they come into the front stretch. Kevin Cantonio does actually get the lead as they go down into turn 1. But Josh gets it back. Jason getting it, pushing in on it. Philip Scott making moves in the field. Philip Scott up to P7 now. Josh gets out front. Kevin gets the run off the line, off the draft. Kevin takes the spot. Josh gets it back. Jason waiting for any errors. Adam and Kyle doing the same exact thing with Rich Hibbs in wait. The three of these guys doing the same little routine here. Kyle trying to chase him down as Brandon gets by Rick, and that is for P8. So right now, and Rick, nope, they swap back and forth, but Rick's going to hold it. Here comes Kyle trying to take away that fourth position from Adam. Everybody's got a really good setup on their car, and nobody's got a whole lot of advantage. The draft is real, though. As they come up here to the start-finish line, Rick and Brandon battling back and forth. That's a side-by-side battle between Rick Wishon and Brandon Dooley. Brandon currently has the edge, we could say, but that's all it is an edge as they come down into the bus stop side-by-side. Can it be done? It can, but Rick backs off a little bit and lets Brandon go on that one.
The radio clear, boys.
Kyle, they're coming across the front stretch down the tri-oval. Kyle's going to try to get a run here through the tri-oval. Oh, he's down on the inside. He's way down low. He's going to try that inside line. Hard on the brakes into turn 1. Adam around the outside. Can Kyle hang on to that tight inside corner and get the advantage out of turn 1? No, Adam holds on, and he's got P4 still with his name on it. Let's see. Why are these buttons so weird? Why are you weird buttons? Alright. That's cool. Back in the pack, Joe Fierro moves back into P15. He gets by Gray Welch. And Michael Mooney comes into pit lane. Josh trying to hold off Kevin Cantonio. Is this a battle? It's going to go to the last lap. They're coming around, finishing up turn 7 right now. 2 to go this time by. They're coming around through turn 3 of the Super Speedway, headed towards the Le Mans chicane, which formerly was known as the bus stop. I say bus stop all the time. This has been the bus stop for as long as I've been alive, and only for 2 years now it's been called Le Mans chicane. They did that with a deal with the Le Mans WEC, the World Endurance Championship now, where they run Le Mans over there with the same class of cars in 2024. It'll be the same cars running at Daytona as they do at Le Mans. So the Le Mans chicane is actually the first chicane on the long straightaway. As I'm trying to remember the name of the long straightaway, as Kevin beats him across the line, Josh takes the spot away. Jason following him through, making Kevin go around the outside. Jason looks like he might have P2 here, but we'll see. Headed towards the International Horseshoe. Kevin battling back on the outside, on the inside here. Does he have the spot? It's tight. Jason's right there. He's got to hold it really close. He does have the position as they pull away, but Jason gets a good run through the kink. As they're side by side for second here with just 2 laps to go in the race. In the sprint race, Kevin Cantonio holds on to it. Jason trying to get maximum points for the team there. If he can get ahead of Kevin, that's 1-2 for Dad Bod Racing, and that is going to really help them out in the championship, in the team championship points. As they lost some ground last week to DSR Simsport. DRS Simsport. Sorry, guys. And that is the battle right behind these guys for fourth. As Kyle Robinson tries to get by the next three, and then the next three is Philip Scott. And he's got a little bit of a gap back to Brandon Dooley, who's got the game. He's now got position over Rick Wishon. Coming across the stripe for the white flag. Here they come through the tri-oval. Josh Bailing out in front. Kevin Cantonio right in the bumper. Right on the bumper right there as they go by. You can see Bernie waving that white flag like there's no tomorrow. Bernie, the hardest working man in racing, is the iRacing flag man. Josh Bailing, Kevin Cantonio, Jason Rabe, 1, 2, 3. Kyle Robinson does squeak ahead of Adam Novotny. Can he hold the position? Let's see. He does hold the position as they get through into the first chicane, the first hairpin. That's the International Horseshoe. And that puts Kyle up farther into the points, and that's going to help his team out. As Kyle's trying to get the points, and Brandon is currently in 8th spot, trying to get that lead spot on the restart. And Adam Novotny is going to try to see if he can get those points back. And Kyle Robinson here as they are on the final lap, 9 of 9. Great time to make the pass for Kyle, but if Adam has the streamline on that setup a little better than Kyle's, he might be able to run him down here, as this is the time to do it. And out front is the same problem. We'll try to watch them both, but the looks like the gap here is falling away, and the gap here is super close. Kevin, with a good run through the bus stop here, can make some advantages here on Josh. We'll see what happens. We're watching Kevin Cantonio in 2nd spot, trying to get the draft. He's got a good spot here. He's got a really good position. He should be able to make some gains here. He's closing it in. He's going to close it up as they go around turn 4 of the super speedway. He comes around the outside trying to use that side draft. Side by side they go across the tri-oval. Who's going to take the win? Kevin Cantonio comes to the line first, takes away the spot right at the start-finish line. Josh Bailing and Adam Novotny, Kyle Robinson going across the line doing the exact same thing. But Adam loses out to Kyle as they cross the line. Everybody stopping in turn 1. Kevin Cantonio takes the win. Josh Bailing, Jason Rabe, Kyle Robinson, Adam Novotny, Rich Hibbs, Philip Scott, and Brandon nails that P8 position again, making that the transfer spot. He will go to the front of the start of the feature race. That is going to be a good advantage for him, but it's not like he's going to get away from anybody. Philip Scott, Rich Hibbs, Adam Novotny, Kyle Robinson are all going to be right behind him as they start the next session of the race. Rick Wishon finishes 8th. Greg Prochnow, Alex Good, Jeff Wyatt, Mark Sherman, Joe Fierro, Greg Welch, Todd Schwartz, Richard Wishon with some incident early on. Michael Mooney in 18th, Emmett Lindquist in 19th. Ryan Fry has dropped out of the race. Ooh, that was a close one. We're going to have a few minutes now for a warm-up. I am going to let the system just run, and I'll be back in just a second before we get started on the feature.
Great race, guys. One of the cleanest starts I've seen in a long time. Let's keep it up for the feature. Guys have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in warm up, and then we'll get to the feature.
Well, back at it here. I want to thank our sponsors here as we finish up the warm-up session. Just a couple seconds left. Big shout out to our sponsor, Stair Fittings Incorporated. Thanks to those guys for being out here, making everything run for us here on Bigg Wizurd TV. This is Ron. We're live on the air. And we've got also JNR Craftworks on board for a sponsorship for the league. They're sponsoring our East to West racing. They have their own series. It was just on before this one. And then also Grandpa's Kitchen, makers of 1-to-1 flour substitutes for those that love the gluten-free stuff. They live gluten-free. They are gluten-free. They make gluten-free. Grandpa's Kitchen. Check them out at grandpaskitchen.com. As we're lining them up, Brandon on the point. And we can see the drivers getting ready. Josh not on the track yet, waiting for Rick, waiting for Alex, waiting for Jeff. 2 drivers still to go. And we will get this race underway. Here we go. They're all on track. They're ready to go. The lights go red, and then the lights are going to go green. You'll see Bernie waving that green flag right in his right hand there. You can see him on screen. And there he goes. The green flag is off. Brandon gets the jump. Down into turn 1 they go. 20 cars down into turn 1. Brandon leading the pack. We got Philip Scott in second spot, and after that comes the battle. What happened? Philip, Adam, Rick, Philip, Rich, Adam, Kyle, Jason, Josh, Kevin, Rick Wishon, Greg Brush, now the top 10. Everybody clean through turns 1 and 2 into the horseshoe, out of the horseshoe, down into turn 7. And up onto the super speedway. Will we see any passes as we come up through the super speedway? I think maybe. Rich here in P3. We got Kyle in P4. We got Josh and Jason in P6 and 7. Jason with a run on Adam Novotny. Jeff Wyatt loses a spot to Alex Good. No room yet. Everybody line astern as they go into the bus stop. Come out of the bus stop. Cold tires. Everybody being careful. Oh, and Gray Welsh has an incident in the back of the pack. Gray slowed and losing ground. Jason climbing up the back. Of Adam Novotny. Does he have enough to get him before the start-finish line? He has got to run. But not enough of a run. It's the battle up front now. Philip Scott with 99. Holding on to P2 for Rich Hibbs, but just barely. And Brandon Dooley holds on to the lead through turn 1 of lap 2. And they are still in a line. The first 15 to 18 cars right together in a single line. No break, no gap. Coming through the kink,
please,
Rich
guys,
looking
do not penalize
all over the place for a spot. Philip not giving it to him. Kyle Robinson is caught in the back of Rich Hibbs.
If there is one.
And now as they come out of the infield onto the super speedway, we'll see who has the best jump. Adam Novotny slowing down the second pack. Jason Rabe has caught him. That is going to be a tough one for Adam to hold off this time around. Top 4 right there together in the front. And Jason trying to take away P5 from Adam Novotny. Jason real close. Adam not giving up anything. Stay hard on the brakes into the bus stop. Still line astern the first 18 cars on the racetrack. Jason's going to try to get a run here. He's a little bit closer than he was last lap, and the car in front of Adam is a little farther back. He's not going to have the advantage he had last time of getting a little draft off the car in front of him. But we'll see. Kyle Robinson also trying to make a move up into the 3rd position. He's in fourth behind Rich Hibbs, and Rich trying to make the move at the same time on Philip Scott. As they go almost side by side into turn one, Greg Prosh now falls back through the field. Let's see what happens, Greg.
No action on the contact with car number 48974.
He just got swallowed up. He had a bad run off that corner. And look at this pack goes by him. That's Richard Wishon. That's Mark Sherman. That's all these guys going by. Emmett Link was just driving by him down the long stretch and across the start-finish line into turn one. Josh and Jason trying to catch Adam Novotny. Adam is caught back. Kyle Robinson caught. And now the top 7 are right in a row. Pack is bunched back up again. Kyle goes in deep right on the bumper of Rich Hibbs. Rich trying to get the same position on Philip Scott, who's in second spot. Emmett Lindquist, Joe Fierro swapping spots in the back. That's for 12th position. Those guys can't decide who wants it more. And Kyle Robinson definitely has a run now on Rich Hibbs. He's right on the bumper. He's got the draft. They're coming through Speedway 2. And he's going to try to get that spot away as they come down through here. He's got to time this right as the end of the bus stop. It's not the best place to pass. And we're going to jump back up. We're a little bit behind on the time, so now they're crossing this down into the tri-oval, and the order stays the same. Brandon Dooley, Philip Scott, Rich Hibbs, Kyle Robinson, Adam Novotny are your top 5, and they are all nose to tail. Jason Ray, Josh Bailing in 6th and 7th, top 7 cars right together on the racetrack. Brandon holding on to that top spot, number 14 BMW. He has got the point and is trying not to relinquish, but this is a long race. 24 laps. We're on lap 4. There's Jason trying to go down the inside of the horseshoes. Got the line, doesn't manage to get in there though. Adam Novotny holds him off for another turn. Adam blipped out there. It looked like he went away and came right back. That is part of digital racing. And Kyle Robinson again with a great run off of turn 7, right on the bumper of Rich Hibbs. Adam blinking in and out a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Brandon, Philip, Rich, Kyle, all right together. Small break now back to Adam in the 326. And he has Jason, and Jason being closely followed by Josh. Now Jason looks like he wants this spot away. He's got a really good run on him here. He's right on the bumper, but he doesn't have enough time to finish the pass. He can like almost get to it. Oh, the switch over there as they go down into turn 1. Adam Novotny blinking bad, but he goes on the outside. Probably a little hard for Jason to figure out what to do there as Adam went a little bit wide. He's blinking in and out pretty hard right now. He might have some internet issues at where he lives. Adam coming racing with us from Ohio.
I'll look into that.
Well, there it goes. Jason Ray not able to hang on. They get close together. We'll see if there's any contact there.
Yeah, just
Jason
let me know if it gets too bad.
And drops back in the field. He's back into 15th.
Seems to be pretty solid right now.
That going again. A long race. He can get back into the top 10, but with as good as everybody is here, he's going to have a hard time getting up higher than that. I don't think he hit anything. He is going again. He's right behind Jeff Wyatt now in P16. Not the outcome he wanted. Josh Bailing's turn now to try to get by Adam Novotny. Adam in P5 holding that spot. Brandon Dooley out in the front with the lead. Top 4 now, just separated by less than a second. There's all 4 of these drivers coming across the line now to start lap number 6. 5 laps in the books of this 24-lap race. And they spread out as they dive into turn 1. Rich Hibbs looking to the inside. Kyle Robinson looking to the outside. Everybody trying to get a spot, trying to make a move. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Brandon Dooley out in front. Philip Scott trying to hold on. Brandon has been doing this now for a couple weeks in a row. Alex Good dropping back. Alex may have had an issue in the 79 car. He fell back a couple spots there. Oh, and yes, he did. He had an issue here as he loses it. That's in the International Horseshoe. Loses that, loses a couple spots, hangs on to the car and gets it righted and keeps it going. But that does not do well for his position. And Mooney is off the racetrack. Mooney in the 88 car also off the track with a small incident there. Coming out of the infield in through turn 7. Just goes a little wide there, tries to overcorrect. Comes across a little bit of a spin. And that happens, folks. That happens. Kyle still in 4th. Brandon still out front. The shuffle as they go into turn 1 again. Rich down to the inside. Rich Hibbs trying to take away that spot. Rich trying everything he can to get that second spot away from Philip Scott. He cannot. That allows Kyle Robinson to push in deep. Oh, and Kyle spins. Kyle dives in too deep and spins as he goes in through the horseshoe. He has got some trouble. Let's see what else happened there. As Kyle comes around. Oh, and he gets hit by Josh Baling. Josh Baling runs into him there. Oh, what a terrible run for the Josh and Jason team from Dad Bod Racing. What a terrible day there. They have had now 2 incidents already. And one of them with one of the DSR SimSport team guys. DRS SimSport. That puts Jason back to 13th and Josh back to 7th with Brandon Dooley driving away with it. Philip Scott in 2nd. That lead pack has changed now. Philip Scott in 2nd place, Rich Hibbs in 3rd, and everybody else back in the pack as Jason Ray moves up to P12 and Richard Wishon gets by Josh Baling. Because Josh probably has damaged the front of that car. Turn 1 they go. Brandon Dooley and now has to fight off Philip Scott, and Philip without challengers now. Philip can really push now because he doesn't have to defend that position as much because there's nobody right on his bumper like there was before. The gap up at the front, just 0.3 of a second, and then a small gap back to Rich Hibbs in 3rd is just about 0.6 of a second. So right together, the top 3. Mark Sherman goes off the track. And Alex Good spins. Alex not having a good night here at Daytona. He's having a rough time here at the racetrack. Alex back in P19, the last car running on the racetrack. Brandon Dooley still out front as they're heading to the bus stop. Philip Scott does get a good run out of the bus stop here. Typically gets a really good run and can gain on him when he gets towards that turn 1 area, but not quite enough as Rick Wishon takes another spot away, getting by Kevin Cantonio. Let's see if we can catch that. Coming into the bus stop, just outbreaks him into the bus stop, gets by. Rick just cruising up to P5. Into turn 1, it's back to a 3-car battle. Rich Hibbs is caught back up as Greg Prochnow gets by Joe Fierro back in the pack. And Gray Welch has another issue. Gray off the racetrack. Here's your leaders, Brandon Dooley, Philip Scott, followed by Rich Hibbs, right together. All three of these guys within a second now. Right up in the front. No mistakes. No mistakes can be made. They jump back on the tri-oval of the Daytona Super Speedway, going through turns 2 and 3. They'll be going down the Super Speedway backstretch here into the Le Mans chicane. Lap 9. Brandon seems to have things under control. We do have to make a pit stop here. Philip misses the apex there on the bus stop. Goes a little bit off track, but he may have been doing that to try to get this run. He's right on the bumper now. He's got a really good run coming down here to the start-finish line. I think he might be able to get alongside. Doesn't have enough room to get by him. He is going to make turn 1 challenging. Brandon goes down low to the inside. Rich to the outside, trying the over-under. And we got a car coming out of the pit lane here. This is one of the DRS, or one of the Dad Bod racing cars. He is not going to play a factor as they get by right before him. Early pit stop there. For Jason, I think that was Jason Wade. Nope, that must have been Josh. Or I'm losing my mind. It was Jason. And he's right behind the leaders now. The leaders still have to pit. Jason, with that damage early, contacted Kyle Robinson. Kyle dropped down to P9. Brandon with a really good lap this lap, pulling away a little bit from Philip Scott. Kyle has not gone to the pit yet since that incident. He is catching up with Emmett Lindquist here, Emmett in the Ferrari. Oh, and Alex Good spins once again. Alex just not having a good night. And Alex hits the wall and goes into the pit. Through the key. Not enough downforce. Loses it. Tags the wall there and decides to tow it back to the pit. Into turn 1. Kevin Cantonio gets back by Rick Wishon. Rick fights back to that position. That's the battle for 5th. Rick holds on to it. Kevin got alongside going into turn 1. Rick managed to get it back. Into turns 2 and 3 with Richard, his son, right behind him. Sorry, I had to step away there. Race control doing a little consulting on one of the incidents as they happen very fast and very furiously here on the racetrack. Right now, Brandon Dooley in the 14. He is our leader, and he is starting to give himself a little... No, never mind. But Rich Hibbs has made it past Philip Scott for second spot. Rich may be able to gain here. We'll see if he's got a little more push down these long straightaways to catch Brandon, where Philip could not make that happen. Sorry we missed that one during the little break I was in there. And Mooney in the pits for his fuel stop. Turn one. They're close. They're always close. Jason Rave gets by Kyle Robinson. And fastest lap of the race for Jason Rave. Kyle Robinson into the pits. Kyle Robinson in the pits. That's going to help him out. He has to get that thing fixed. But man, from 7th spot, dropping all the way back into 14th by a pit stop. Joe Fierro. Joe Fierro in the 48 is slow. What happened to Joe? Turn one happened to Joe. Following Emmett Lindquist into turn one, Joe misses the corner, spins it around, and makes some contact there with the 86 and almost with the 92. He gets it going again with some damage. Not going to help him. Brandon still holding off Rich Hibbs out front. Philip Scott in third, Adam Novotny in fourth. Rick Wishon holding off Kevin Cantonio for 5th spot. Kevin in 6th, followed by Richard Wishon, Emmett Lindquist, Jason Rave, Greg Prochnow, and that's your top 10 at the moment. Watching this close battle up front. Brandon Dooley, Rich Hibbs, both in the BMW. Rich looking for room now. He's down low. Oh, they're both coming into the pit lane at the same time, down to pit lane speed as they cross the line. All three of the leaders are now in the pits. All four, the top four have gone in. Everybody's going in. Rick Wishon going in. Richard going in. Everybody going in together. Nobody wants the lead of this one. But we are... Fuel is limited. We are at lap 14 of 24. They had a little bit of leeway. If this was the last lap, they could have gone in on. Looks like about a 1-lap swing. They could have gone in last lap. But we'll see who sneaks out in front as they get out of the pit lane. Look at this. They're still nose to tail, but Rich Hibbs takes the lead in the pits. Rich Hibbs has the lead of the race ahead of Brandon Dooley as they exit the pit lane. Everybody in behind him. The shuffle through the pit lane is happening. Kyle Robinson gets a good jump out of the pit lane. He moves up to 10th spot after his stop. As he's coming through the field, gets ahead quite a few, back up to 8th now. Rich Hibbs has taken the front spot away from Brandon Dooley with pit strategy. I don't know if he could get less fuel. He came in right behind him. I don't know if he didn't take tires, if he took less fuel. I don't know what it was, but he got out just in time to get in front of Brandon on the exit. Adam Novotny still in 4th. Philip Scott right there in 3rd, right behind Brandon, as Rich came out first and now has the lead of the race. I didn't watch to see if any of the cars lifted off the ground or not. Depending on how much fuel they needed, they may have been able to get tires in the same amount of time it took to get fuel. Can't say one of them had a bigger fuel tank than the other because they're both in BMWs. So it was either fuel save and less fuel required, or a difference in what they did on the entrance. It could be, how they got into their box, how quickly they were able to stop. The pit stops made the difference. Rich Hibbs out in front of the race. Brandon Dooley in 2nd, and we are on lap 14 of 24. Philip Scott pushing hard. As the top 3 drivers are right together on the racetrack. Philip or Brandon make any mistake, step out of line just by 1 inch, they're into each other. And these guys are so close together. This is confidence racing your opponent, knowing that they aren't going to make a mistake and that the guy, neither one of them, both of them have to have full trust in the other driver. As close as they are. Philip able to get a run as they go down these long straightaways, but not able to make the pass. Jeff Wyatt goes in for his pit stop. And that allows Mooney to buy. That is back in P15. Josh Bailey also gets by. Oh, and that's Brandon coming around. Brandon loses it on the exit of the bus stop. He's going to have to collect that. He doesn't get too far off track, but he's going to lose that spot and another one. As Brandon goes into the grass on the exit of the bus stop, that's the worst place to lose your momentum. He's going to get passed like a freight train. As Kevin Cantonio goes by, Richard Wishon goes by, throwing Brandon back into P6 after leading the race coming out of the pits. Maybe he got tires. Maybe the tires weren't warm yet. I don't know what happened there. But that was not what he wanted. Now as they dive into turn 1, he drops from P2 down to P6. Philip Scott up to 2nd spot now, right where he wants to be, and he wants to be able to run down Richard Hibbs. But Rich on his horse, and he is gone. He's pulled away. Rich now with a 3-second lead over 2nd place Philip Scott. Rich threw the 2nd horseshoe into the infield and getting ready to get up on the speedway. I don't think Philip is close enough now to use the draft. Adam Novotny could be catching in now 3rd place, trying to run down Philip Scott. Todd Schwartz currently in 14th spot. Not sure what happened. No, Mike Mooney gets by Josh. Oh, that might be a battle. Maybe that's a battle there. Or Josh had a problem. I don't know what happened. Don't know what happened, Josh. Not sure what happened to you, buddy. Pop it up on my screen. There's Brandon, has caught back up to this group that got by him. That is Richard Wishon and Kevin Cantonio. Brandon obviously quick here today. Dropped back from 2nd to 6th with that off track at the exit of the bus stop. So quick. If you're in the wrong place of the racetrack, so quickly you lose the spots. Richard Wishon, Kevin Cantonio going too wide, right in front of Brandon. Their championship points here. There's Jason Rave gets by Rick Wishon. Oh, maybe not. Jason Rave and Rick Wishon going across the start-finish line together. This is a replay of what just happened into turn 1. Jason cuts down in. Looks like he's going to take the 2 of them out. Rick hits the barrier, and that's going to be donezo for Rick. Jason able to keep going. I've hit that barrier before, and that is nasty stuff. Jason does continue on. That could be a penalty. Not sure. That could be a penalty later on. You can watch race control here as they say something. And we'll watch and see if Jason goes in and makes another stop. Watching the leader, Rich Hibbs, 3 seconds the lead over Philip Scott in 2nd place as he exits the bus stop. Whole bunch of off tracks. There's this battle here in the back here with Brandon. There's 2 guys right in front of him. Kevin Cantonio and Richard Wishon battle really hard. Richard with the run across the start-finish line. These guys going into turn one. They're going to try to do it side by side. Kevin goes up to block, dives down into one. He's going around wide on the outside. He's got a really good line. Richard kind of backs off a little bit, and that lets Brandon catch up. This one is high on the excitement list. This is the battle right here for fourth position. I'm pretty sure Brandon will want some of those spots back. But he's being patient back there, looking at the championship overall, and not putting himself where he shouldn't be, not stepping out of line. He doesn't lose this top 6. Now, he does need a top 5 to improve one of his previous times. He does have 6 right now. Coming back out onto the infield, onto the super speedway. And Josh Balin gets back by Michael Mooney. Out front, Rich Hibbs with the lead. Philip Scott in second place. Philip now 3.5 seconds back. Adam Novotny in third. And then back to this battle for fourth with Kevin Cantonio, Richard Wishon, and Brandon Dooley all right together. Is this battle here allowing Kyle Robinson to catch up? Not too much. Kyle's a couple car lengths back there. Looks like the gap there for Kyle's another 2.5 seconds behind his teammate, Brandon Dooley. Rich Hibbs on the point. This battle for fourth. Oh, possibly a little bump there. A little bump coming through the international horseshoe there between Richard Wishon and Kevin Cantonio. Brandon not going to be upset if these guys have an issue, but they are catching Adam Novotny. This battle for fourth is going to start becoming the battle for second at any moment, as these guys are now in reach. They are in drafting distance of the two cars in front of them. Let's see if I can catch the lap times and see if they're quicker. It's not the easiest thing to do here with the timing and scoring that I have being remote. I don't have a lot of control. But let me see if I can find out if Kevin here is running quicker laps than two cars in front of him. I'm thinking he might be. Rich last lap in the 144.2. Kevin is quickest lap with a 143.7. Catching up with Adam about 0.3 of a second. Brandon Dooley also with the quickest lap he's run so far with a 144 flat. And Kyle Robinson with a 143.8. So yes, the guys in the back are catching the guys in the front. 4, 5, and 6 gaining on 2 and 3. Lap 20 now as they cross the line. They've got 5 to go. Lap 20 of 24. Rich Hibbs out front, followed by Philip Scott by now 3 seconds. Adam Novotny right behind Philip Scott. Kevin Cantonio, Richard Wishon, Brandon Dooley all right together in chase of Adam Novotny. Kyle Robinson a little bit behind these guys, not that far, just a couple second gap between his teammate Brandon Dooley and himself. And then Emmett Lindquist, another 3 seconds back from there in the 40 car. He's in 8th position. Jason Rabe is back to 9th after his really not so good run there. He had a problem early on. I don't know if he had a drive-through. He's still got that headlight out, so he still has damage on the right front of that car. As Adam from the purple sector is running really quick lap times right now, trying to catch up to maybe 9 second spot Philip Scott, and keep Kevin Cantonio off his bumper. As Josh Baling gets by Mooney. And that's for P15. Points are points. Wow, this battle for second spot is intense now with just 3 laps to go as they cross the line. Through the horseshoe they come. Philip Scott goes a little bit wide. He makes it on a little correction. Adam Novotny moves up on him. The gap there is now 1/10 of a second. Oh, and Philip, a great run out of there, or into the corner. Let's see who gets the better run out of the corner. Philip makes the gap. Kevin looks like he might have the advantage as they're coming along out of Speedway 2 and 3 here. Kevin Cantonio with a great run on Adam Novotny here as Richard Wishon just set the fastest lap of the race. Josh Baling and Jeff Wyatt get passed by Michael Mooney. And Greg Prochnow spins. I don't know if I want to leave this battle up front here, as Kevin looks to me like he might have this spot. Kevin may have P3 here as they're coming across the line. He's trying to see which way he's going to go as they get up into the tri-oval here. Now 3 cars right on top of each other. Adam goes wide to go around Philip Scott, and he's going to hold on to that. Adam around the outside, Philip on the inside. And all 3 of them make it through. Looks like Adam might have it. Philip Scott loses the spot to Adam Novotny. What a run. Holy cow. That was incredible. That was absolutely incredible. Philip Scott drops back to P3. Adam Novotny moves up to second. And Philip Scott somehow holds Kevin Cantonio back. Richard Wishon is right there with him. And Kevin has now the fastest lap of the race. What a pass for position. That was for second spot. We're currently on lap 22 of 24. There's only 3 to go as they're coming out of the infield. Philip Scott doesn't get a really good run there. Looks like Kevin's got him here as they're coming out of the infield onto the super speedway through turns 2 and 3 of the speedway. Kevin, oh man, Philip with that horsepower coming out of that Mercedes. Down that front stretch, got that big V8 haul, and he's got that little Porsche behind him. I think he's got him, but he might have to wait till after the bus stop as down they go into the brake zone. We'll see if Kevin can get a run on him here. Philip not letting go. Philip is right now catching back up with Adam Novotny. He's going to make that challenge for P2 again. He's going around the outside, but he's not quite close enough yet. We'll see if there's anything happening here. But where Kevin Cantonio got the jump out of turn 7, Philip Scott now has the jump going into turn 1. We'll see if there's a change for position here. Adam gives him a little room, lets him have that outside, and Adam takes the inside line. Kevin is going to try to take advantage of that same inside line. They're now almost side by side. Kevin alongside as they hit the international bus stop or international horseshoe. Who is going to have the advantage? Kevin around the outside. Philip on the inside. The exit advantage is the guy on the outside, but they're still side by side as they go through the kink. It looks like Kevin Cantonio has the pass and is now in 3rd spot. So in 2 laps, Philip Scott has lost 2 spots. As strong as that car is and as good of a run he's had, it looks like he's losing a couple spots here at the very end of the race. Richard Wishon now in the rearview mirror looking for P4. Rich Hibbs, as they're doing all this, pulling away 3.6 seconds. The gap now back to Adam Novotny in 2nd spot. Kevin Cantonio is moving into 3rd. Philip Scott, Richard Wishon in top 5. Brandon Dooley in 6th, still followed by his teammate Kyle Robinson. Emmett Lindquist, Jason Ray, Rick Rishon are your top 10 as they run right now. We are on lap 23 of 24 as they cross the line through the bus stop this time. As they cross the line this time, they'll have 1 lap to go. Go out front with our leader in control of this race. Rich Hibbs comes up to the trioval, crosses the start-finish line. Bernie waving the white flag. It went by pretty quick. I didn't even see him. Down into turn 1 for the final time. This is lap 24. The battle for second is on. Adam Levant, Kevin Cantonio, Philip Scott, Richard Wishon, all right together. Adam has it. Kevin seems to want it. Philip wants it back. And Richard is just wanting to see what he can get out of this. The 2 cars behind, Brandon Gould and Kyle Robinson, is now top. So the 4-car battle for second is turning into a 6-car battle for second. On the final lap of the race, coming out of the infield for the final time, Adam Novotny through turn 7. Kevin Cantonio, can he get that Porsche? Hook the power down a little quicker. He goes around the outside. It looks like he may have, and he has got the run. Adam with that slippery BMW coming down the backstretch. Kevin's going to have to wait till after the bus stop to make the move. He's going to have to do it on the final corner. They're going to have to both go through the bus stop super clean. Kevin's going to have a great launch on the outside of the exit and see if he can stay with him. But here it is. Here is the last chance for Kevin to take away P2 from Adam Novotny. Adam gets out of the corner cleanly. Kevin in tow, Philip Scott right behind, Richard Wishon right there together, all the cars right together. Does anyone have a run? Do they have enough? Coming down to the final run, into the trioval, it looks to me like Kevin Cantonio has a run. Does he have enough? Does he have enough time? No, he does not. Adam Novotny takes P2. Kevin Cantonio in third. Scott, Richard Wishon are your top 5 as they cross the line. Brandon Dooley, nice Kyle Robinson in 6th and 7th after Brandon was leading that race. Quite a chunk. Wow, what
Dave, I hope that didn't happen
cars still coming around.
From me
like
blinking.
Link was coming around still here in the 40.
It might have been.
Coming across the start-finish line. Rick Wishon in the 74 gets across. Joe Fierro coming across the line now, followed by 92 of Mark Sherman. And everybody finishing this one up. What a great race. Let me go see if I can get the guys in the broadcast. If I can find them. The guys that were up front there are not in one of the lobbies, so we'll see if we can get them here. We'll find out if one of them wants to join us here in the broadcast booth. What a great run. Rich Hibbs with the win. Adam Novotny for second. Kevin Cantonio for third. And what a great run from those guys. Great show. Thanks for tuning in and watching the race with us. This is Ron with Bigg Wizurd TV. We got our sponsors here. Stair Fittings Incorporated. Check them out at orders.stairfittings.com. We've got Grandpa's Kitchen. You can check those guys out at grandpaskitchen.com, and then JNR Craftworks, jnrcraftworks.com. League sponsors, Bigg Wizurd TV sponsors. Thanks to East to West Racing for putting all this on for us and having this great racing. What a great night of racing. Great time. Good race all around. Congratulations to Richard Hibbs on his win. Adam Novotny on the P2, Kevin Cantonio, strong finish there for P3. Great battles there with Philip Scott with just a couple laps to go. Richard Wishon hanging right to the tail of that group for his P5. Nice work, everyone. And as always, don't race on the road. Be safe. Get home to your family. Race with us here on iRacing. We do it 3 times a week. And we have a lot of fun with it. This is Ron with Bigg Wizurd TV, also with East to West Racing. As always, be safe out there. And we'll see you on the next race. Have a good night, everybody. wonderful next couple of days. We'll see you guys on Thursday for the next one.